guys, I'm here today to do a bit of a catch-up video. Now I did just try to use my studio light because it's really dark and very yellow lighting, but I looked like I was in an interrogation room. I actually think this yellow light is better, so I apologise. Like, either way the lighting was going to be shit. It's torrential rain here. We've had torrential rain for about 24 hours. Loads of areas near where I live have been flooding, so it is what it is. I mean, I feel really sad for anyone who has been harmed by the flooding, but Johnny and I aren't massively affected by it because fortunately we are people who love lots of rain and wind, so I love the cosy vibes, and I just hope everybody is safe and it doesn't affect anybody too badly. So I wanted to do a bit of a check-in video because I did a video a few days ago, and in that video I was like, oh, sorry I've been gone a while, but I'm hoping to upload loads of videos between now and the new year. And then yesterday I woke up and felt like maybe I needed a COVID test because I had a dry tickly throat and a headache, and so I had a COVID test yesterday at midday and I'm waiting for the results still. So I'm self-isolating obviously because I could have it. I hope I don't, and if I do, I hope I just don't get too ill, obviously, because I don't want to be ill, but also I really want to do all the videos because I find this time of year really exciting. So if I have it, that's why the video stopped for a while, and if I don't, I will continue to upload. I'm hoping to film another video after this, which I'm going to plan to have go up on Boxing Day, so that should go up either way because I really don't feel too ill today at all. I just feel like I've got like a normal cold, which if I was at work I would go into work like this, so it could just be a cold, we shall see. So yeah, so fingers crossed, but I'll have the Boxing Day video up regardless, which should be my anticipated releases for the first 3 months of 2021, which is a video I love researching, so I've been doing that for the last couple of days. So yeah, but I just thought I would check in with you guys about a couple of things really. So we have been put into like a high level of lockdown where we live in England, which we think is the best option. Like, we were getting really frustrated with our government that they weren't deciding that sooner, and they left it till 2 days before Christmas to make that decision, which is frustrating because lots of people are just not going to listen. They're going to be like, well, we've already bought all the food, like fuck it, we're just going to do what we were going to do, which isn't what we're doing obviously. So because we're vegan and we live in Norwich, which is a fairly good city for vegetarian and vegan food, hipster central, whereas our families live in a small seaside town, Lowestoft, which is where we're both from. They said to us, can you get your vegan food because you've got better options where you live, and then bring that on Christmas Day. So we had all the food anyway, so it's worked out quite well for us. So we're not in a sort of panicky situation. And my mum, bless her, like as soon as she realised she wasn't going to be able to see us for Christmas, she came and just dropped our presents on the doorstep, and picked a couple of bits up for us that we hadn't managed to get in. So we're all sorted food wise. Oh, one of the cats is coming in. Who is it? Albus, obviously. Luna can't open doors. Albus is like an absolute pro. Don't start knocking things over, please. He's just ignoring me. So we're fine food wise. We panic bought a new board game yesterday because we were like, if we're going to be in lockdown for a few months, we need new board games. So we bought one yesterday. And yeah, we got lots of nice food, lots of buffet food, and we managed to get some stuff delivered from our local like vegan deli, which is really nice. So we're going to be able to make like tasty vegan Christmas sandwiches, which we're excited about. And yes, it should be nice and cozy. We've never had a Christmas just the two of us. Johnny and I have been together since we were 16, so we've been together for 14 years. And we have always, you know, originally when we were really young, we obviously spent Christmas apart, and then we have spent Christmas together for a lot of years, but we've never had it just the two of us because we've always gone and seen family members. And we have said before, it wouldn't be nice one year to just have a chilled Christmas and also to be able to spend it with the cats rather than like always leaving them. So that's like a silver lining if there is one. Obviously it's really sad to not see family, but it's obviously the safe thing to do. So that's where we're at. And Albus, don't be naughty. We've bought them lots of new things for Christmas, like toys and stuff, but they're always more interested in the box as the toys come in. The rain's so loud, I think you guys can probably hear it. So What else did I want to say? Yeah, something else I wanted to mention, which feels a bit of an awkward thing to mention, but I did just want to check in about it because I've spoken about it earlier in the year and I feel like I haven't really checked in since then, and a few people have kindly commented and asked about it. So earlier in the year I started feeling quite unwell in April. I had sort of chronic pain and pins and needles. I don't even know how many medical specialists I spoke to in the end. Originally they thought it was like a slipped disc or something, so I had lots of MRIs, I spoke to loads of physiotherapists, like 6 different physiotherapists, and it wasn't. So then I had a brain MRI because they were considering that it might be multiple sclerosis, which was obviously very scary. It wasn't. So then I got referred to a specialist neurologist, and I eventually saw the neurologist in September. Be good, Albus. And I got diagnosed with something called functional neurological disorder, which I'd never heard of, and most people have never heard of, including my actual doctors, which is slightly terrifying. So it's a fairly unknown condition that is still being researched quite heavily, so it's quite difficult to find information about it even online. But I sort of wanted to touch base about it because I feel like it's weird to like talk about how ill I felt and then not actually acknowledge what it is, and the fact that I'm getting better and I'm getting the treatment I need. So I'm going to explain briefly what it is. Obviously I'm not a doctor, and I'm going to explain it because I actually find it quite fascinating, and you might too. So I was expecting it to be a physical condition, which is all my doctors had ever considered. They thought that after they thought, okay, it's not a slip disc, they thought it has to be something wrong with your actual nerves themselves, the nervous system. So physically they thought there was going to be something wrong. And then when I went to see the neurologist, they told me it was actually a mental health condition, and functional neurological disorder is when the two parts of your brain have stopped speaking to one another. So the emotional side and the sort of reactive side that can do things like ride a bike without thinking about it can't speak to one another properly, and when that happens there's a breakdown, and they send the wrong messages, and there's lots of symptoms that can cause. Mine, chronic pain, pins and needles, and sort of towards the end I had lots of disassociation and feeling like I was going to faint and things like that. So the reason it happens is they think, there's lots more research being done into it, is they think it's from people who have had sort of ongoing pressures or traumatic incidents in their life, usually in childhood, and have sort of repressed the normal responses to those, like stress, depression, anxiety, in order to cope. And after doing that for a certain amount of time, their body can't cope anymore because their body needs to release the stress, anxiety and depression you should have felt. So the emotional side becomes unable to tell the physical side of your brain, you need to feel these things, you need to feel this anxiety via, things like increased breathing, or like panic attacks, increased heart rate, things like that. So I don't have any of those symptoms. I never feel anxious, and throughout this process since I've been diagnosed I quite often have to do a well-being tracker, which is where I get asked questions about my levels of depression and anxiety. They don't ask it like that specifically, but and you get scored, and I have ridiculously low scores. Like I scored 0 quite a few times. I just don't feel anxiety or depression, and the only time I did was when I was in a lot of fucking pain, because if you're in pain day in day out, of course you're going to feel low. So, and that's quite, I'm like a perfect case study of FND, what my neurologist said, because my response was, my childhood was like stressful, but like whatever, I don't feel stressed by it, I'm fine about it, I don't feel any like, it's not affecting me as a person, like I'm absolutely fine, whatevs, like no way has it had anything to do with this. And he was like, that's like classic FND, because people who have like locked these things away, then that's why the body responds this way. So what's happening now is I'm being referred to like counsellors who will specifically deal with the repressed emotions and help me to actually feel them and to like uncover it, I guess. And then once that happens I should start to be normal and feel actual stress and anxiety and depression, something to look forward to, I guess. Rather than feel physical symptoms like pain, pins and needles. I mean, some people, like, I feel really fortunate in a way, because some people lose the ability to walk, they lose sight in their eyes. Like a lot of people get taken to hospital thinking they're having strokes because the symptoms are so severe. So there tends to be two different groups of people, and my symptoms are less common. The chronic pain isn't as common a symptom of FND as numbness, and that's why people lose the ability to walk, because like one side of their body goes completely numb. And for some people it happens within 24 hours, whereas mine was more progressive. It got much worse over sort of 3 or 4 months. So since I've had the diagnosis, I've gradually got a lot better. And I started doing a phased return to work at the start of December, so I'm doing a few hours a day and hoping to build that up so that by the end of January I'm back at work full time. My symptoms had nearly gone in November, and as soon as I went back to work they came back, which makes sense because it's a worry, it's a bit of a stress, but I feel like work are really supporting me. I have a lot of really good friends at work who are being really great, and my manager is. So I feel like I'm in safe hands, and I'm getting better. So I just wanted to like acknowledge that, because I think I felt really uncomfortable at the fact that I'd mentioned feeling unwell and then hadn't acknowledged why. But at the time when I got the diagnosis, it was horrible, because I was so confused, and it took quite a while to come to terms with it, because I felt like, it sounds really dramatic, but I felt like I had to sort of reassess who I thought I was. But it's absolutely fine now, and yeah, and I'm getting better, and yeah. The one weird thing is that the tablets I've now been put on, I've been put on antidepressants, not for their antidepressant ability, but because the ones I've been put on specifically help with pins and needles. So they've said that whilst I'm getting better, I might have to be on these for a while, which is fine. But since I've been on them, I've had horrific nightmares, so which is one of the most common side effects, and fucking hell, sometimes I think entire films could be made up of my nightmares. So probably going to need to change my prescription. But yeah, fucking weird. Sometimes I wake up and I think, I'm worried about what goes on in my head, and it's probably because of all the fucking depressing stuff I read, isn't it? So I might read books that bring me a bit more joy in the next couple of weeks, to try and avoid the awful nightmares. So yeah, that's my update. Johnny and I have been obsessed with a board game called Everdell. I highly fucking recommend it. It's so cute. It's the most beautiful board game I've ever seen. And you should definitely get it. I'll link a video down below about it so you can go and look into it. There's loads of expansions, we have them all. We played it every day for like 3 weeks in a row. It's brilliant. And we've just bought ourselves a new board game called Wingspan, which is about birds. You're like pretending to be an ornithologist, and you're collecting bird cards, and you have to like gain food resources to buy the bird cards, and then like you win at the end if you have the birds with the most points. Does that make sense? That makes it sound really simple. It's not. It's actually quite complicated. It's beautifully designed, and it arrived now, and it's been created by 4 women, which I find wonderful, because board games, as with most industries, are dominated by men. Most of the producers, illustrators are men, and it's really exciting to see that all 4 people involved are women, so very happy about that. So I'll link a video about Wingspan down below as well. I'm getting very geeky about games. Let me know if you would be interested in me doing videos in the new year talking about some of the games we've been enjoying. I'm not very good at doing like really arty videos where I do like really cool shots of the game, but Johnny could probably try and help me with that. He's much better at that sort of thing than I am. So let me know if you would like to see a video where I talk about some of the board games we enjoy. And yeah, I hope if you celebrate Christmas you have a really lovely time. I hope you're safe, and I know Christmas is going to be so different for a lot of us, and New Year, but I hope that in whatever way you can, you make the best of it. Like I said, for us that is books, board games, food and jigsaw puzzles. We have a jigsaw puzzle of donuts, which is 1,000 piece, which we've had for a couple of months, and we luckily have a jigsaw roller because the cats will just annihilate a jigsaw, so we have to like, it takes us a few days to do a 1,000 piece one, so we have to do it on the roller, and every time we take a break we have to roll it up and put it away, because especially Albus, I'm looking at you, will just destroy it. We have floorboards, so like we're always worried that we're going to lose bits of the jigsaw down the floorboards, which would be devastating. So yeah, that is my update. Oh, I'm nudging my plant. So if you celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a lovely time. If you don't, but you have time off work, I hope you just have a real nice relax. And yeah, I hope to see you in many more videos, but either way, I will definitely see you in the next couple of weeks in some way or another. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!